Outlaws do advocates, we speak the truth. Got a mic in our hand, yeah, we're breaking loose. From behind the bars, the breaking glass roofs. We're telling our stories and dropping mad truth. Yo, it's George, Jesse, and Jeremy on the mic. 3 outlaws on a mission, man, it feels so right. We were doing hard time, now we're dropping rhymes. Turn a hustle into hope, redefine it. From the prison yard to podcast fame, taking back our power, no more shame. We used to win numbers, now we win names. Laughing at our haters, cause we changed the game. We got time, wait in the house.
All right, welcome. Outlaws to Advocates, and guess what? We got the world famous Katherine Kouvelas in the house.
Awesome.
I don't know about world famous.
Yes. World famous.
Oh, absolutely world famous.
South Phoenix famous.
Yeah, that'll take. Prison famous, jail famous.
You know how I know you're world famous?
Woo!
From all the applause. But yeah, we tried to do this for a long time to get you on here, and obviously we get to interact with you pretty often when we get to show up on Tuesday nights. But you know who does show up every single Tuesday night? You do. It's awesome. So I'm glad you're here on a Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thankfully, our podcast was on a Wednesday because you definitely wouldn't be here on a Tuesday.
You know, I don't actually talk to people on Wednesday. I'm a total bitch on Wednesday, so you're lucky I'm here. Yeah.
That's your
I'm
downtime?
exhausted on Wednesday. I took a nap, so I'm okay now.
Good. Well, I'm glad.
They would let me nap.
He tried to nap. He ended up with coffee.
That works too.
Our third Wednesday every month, we go hit a couple of prison yards up in Tucson, and then we got to drive back and then straight into the podcast. So that third Wednesday every month is kind of brutal. But again, we show up when we got to show up, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm George Nolan, Reentry Recovery Advocate. Super happy and grateful to be here. Outlaw the Advocate, huge fan, world's best podcast. And this is my friend.
Jesse Messer, recovery advocate as well.
And Jeremy Shaw, recovery advocate. Let's go.
Oh, I get to Katherine Kouvelas, recovery advocate. I don't know.
Sure.
What
Holy shit, I know how to say your name now.
Yeah.
I know how to say. Ashley says it one way. Siri says it another
I
day.
answer to anything. Most people just call me Hot Mama, though.
Oh, nice.
It works.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
That was actually my name in prison.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's what I called him.
I was always wondering who that was.
There you go. Now you know.
In prison.
Yeah,
you hear about, did you heard about Hot Mama? I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like,
They know who I am.
yeah.
Or it could have been me.
Usually it's in
Or
the hole,
that,
though.
or
That's where you hear the name.
That circulates the holes. Oh my God, there's so many double entendres there, dude. But yeah, so it's awesome to be here, Katherine. Why don't you, because I don't know this. I know who you are now. I know what you do now. I know what your actions look like now. How did you get into...
Why the hell did I start this?
Yeah, well, what's your drivers for that?
So long, boring story, actually. So turned 40, and I was like, all right, my kids are out of diapers. I got a little extra time on my hands. I want to start volunteering again. I was big into the Boys and Girls Club thing and kids, and then I had kids, and of course the time goes away. So I was at work. I work at General Dynamics in Scottsdale, and I was on the computer, and I was just Googling. I'm like, all right, what's around here that I could volunteer? And I'm like, let's check out homeless youth. So I type it in there, and bam, Tumbleweed pops up. Tumbleweed was an organization that took care of, and they said homeless youth. I thought that was kids. It's not kids. It was 18 to 25-year-olds. So they were all adults, but they're on the younger side. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I went in there, and first day that I was in there, it was in Tempe, it was after work, and I sat down. I was scared shitless. I'd never done anything with homelessness at all. I'm an MBA. I have no business being in this line of work whatsoever, right? And for a lot...
You have an MBA?
I have an MBA.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
finance.
You could have helped me with my fucking math.
I sure could have. Thanks for asking.
I didn't know you were an MBA.
I love math. So I went in there, and I sat down with these 3 young men, again, 18 to 25. It was iPod, It, and Brandon. And obviously Brandon didn't have a street name, but the other 2 did. And I sat down with them, and we talked for an entire hour. Whole hour, just talked. And I was just kind of blown away by the situation. And I told you earlier I wasn't a crier. I was a crier that day. So I left Tumbleweed, and I'm in the car, and I'm bawling my eyes out. And I called my mom, and I'm like, they don't have their person. You know, that person you can call at 2 a.m, having totally fucked up. You're on Van Buren, you've done whatever you've done, and you're alone and you're scared, and you call that person. That's your person, right? I don't care who it is, if it's parent, aunt, whatever. And I said, they don't have a person. Oh my God, they're all alone. They're on the streets. They're using. They're scared. They can't eat. I don't know what to do. And she very wisely said, well, I guess you're their person now. And I'm like, shit, I think I'm their person now. And that's what happened. So I started going in typically once or twice a week. And I was the GED tutor. I do a lot of air quotes. I don't know why.
Nice.
But that was my job. And
They're relevant.
Yeah. So I say that it's very hard to get somebody who's on the streets, sleeping under a bush, using 17 times a day to study for their GED.
Yeah.
Right? They may want to,
Is
but
it?
You wouldn't think so.
Is it really?
I didn't think it was going to be that hard. But apparently, it's not
There's a
easy
little-
when they're looking at you and they're
Frowned upon in that environment.
a little bit. But they would come in and see me, but they would blow me off sometimes too, and I'd get really pissed. So I started bribing them like any good mom does, and I started baking like a freaking banshee. So it was baklava. See the nose? I'm Greek. I can do these things. Baklava, I made chocolate mousse, I made cheesecake, something called puppy chow. I don't know that you grew up with puppy. It's like Chex Mix with, I had to Google all this stuff.
I want
didn't
some of
know.
that.
Yeah. Chex Mix with like powdered sugar and stuff. Anyway, I was bribing them like crazy, and then they would come to see me because I'm like, dude, come study. I got the goods. I told you I'd be a great drug dealer. I'd be so good. I'm like, I got the mousse. Let's go. We'll go study some math.
I think it's quick to point out you pointed at Jesse when you said drug dealer.
Yeah.
Just-
Well,
I resemble that remark.
we are one.
Yeah.
So then they would come and see me, but I just started developing all these relationships with these kids. Love them. And it just, again, broke my heart that they were really struggling. And I didn't understand it because I grew up in suburban America. We didn't have money, but we didn't know. I always had a bike. I always had food on the table. I always had parents who loved me. Just normal. Well, normal for me wasn't normal for everybody, and I didn't know that. So then 4 years in, I love these kids. They're calling me mom, and Tumbleweed declares bankruptcy. Like, shit, what happens now? So I'm still at work, and I'm literally going up to people like, I need your pants. And they're like, can we wear them first? I'm like, you do what you got to do, but I'll meet you in the parking lot later. I need your pants. I need your shirts. I need all your clothes. Give me whatever you've got. And I would load up, and then I'd go look for them. It's hard to find them. It's hard to find them when they don't want to be found. So talk to my genius mom again, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. She said, well, what do they need? And I said, well, they need to do laundry, right? They don't have a way to do laundry anymore. She's like, meet at a laundromat. Tuesday night was born. That's where it started. So we would meet every Tuesday at the laundromat. First Tuesday ever, it was me and 2 kids. That was it. And I was grateful for the 2 because I was like, please come see me. I'm all alone in the laundromat. And they came to visit. And then we grew, and they told their friends. So it was 2, then 5, then 10, then 20, then 30. We had 30 people, and I was sure that was the Mecca. That was like it. We were never going to get bigger than that. And I was like, I made it.
Yeah.
And then we got kicked out of the parking lot because we were too big for the park. Even though we were paying to do laundry.
For the laundromat parking lot.
Laundromat parking lot. They weren't so happy. So I called the police department. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Where can I do it? And actually, the woman on the phone was so kind. She was like, anybody can have a picnic in the park. Fantastic. So we ended up at JC Park. And we were there for 5 years before not everybody can have a picnic in the park, apparently. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? I didn't know. But now we're at Mountain Park Health Center. We're there every Tuesday, and we serve so last night was 272 people through the food line. And we always add about 20 to that number because some people, drugs are bad and you don't eat when you're high sometimes. So we always add about 20. So we're up to almost 300 people last night.
So when you said Mountain Park,
Yes, Mountain Park Health Center.
where's that at?
It's on the corner of McClintock and Broadway,
Awesome.
northeast corner, every Tuesday.
Who can come out there?
Anybody.
Anybody can come out there
Anybody can come out.
to eat?
Yes, to eat. I'm of the mindset that I don't care if you're an ASU student, has no way to get dinner that night. If you're hungry and you want to stand in line for food, we are going to feed you. So anybody can come. And what we're starting to see now, it's not only the homeless kids, it's neighbors.
Community.
Right? They're food insecure. These people don't have dinner. And there's a shelter nearby the Tempe transitional housing, and all those kids will come. So we're seeing more and more children coming. They're indoors, but they're food insecure. Again, we will feed anybody who comes out.
Yeah. So it was pretty awesome. I was there, and there were some. I think it was 3 men. It might have been 2 men and a girl, but I believe it was 3 men. And they were walking around. They were looking. We had a new table there for New Freedom. We're hanging out, and I was like, they just looked like something was off, with them. Like I was like, what's going on? They're like, so is this like a carnival? And I was like, no, the lady Catherine, she does this to feed the people that don't have any place else to eat. And they were like, should we leave? I was like, well, what's your story? What are you guys doing here? They're like, oh, they just got into the country to attend ASU. That's what triggered that memory. Mm-hmm. They just got into the country. They're getting ready to start ASU. They lived in like the apartments across the street, saw all the people, thought, because it looks like a carnival or a street fair or whatever. Driving by that, it doesn't look like a whole bunch of people who are experiencing extreme amounts of suffering attending an event where they can receive support, services, clothes. Right. I've seen Frisbees given away there. Stickers, literally everything, man, from pens up.
So it's funny, the homeless carnival thing. So when we were at JC Park, the cops knew me, which, anyway, they called me and they're like,
they know us too.
They know you too. They told me. They called me up and they're like, hey, we got a dude who's complaining. We were there for like 5 years, and I think we had 2 people in the neighborhood complain. And one, their kid's bike was stolen off their patio, not on a Tuesday, and I bought them a new bike, so they were fine. But this one dude who was upset because his property values were going to go down because we were feeding the homeless one day a week, he's like, he called the cops, and he's like, they're having a homeless carnival over there. And so the cop called me. He said, you're having a homeless carnival. I'm like, that's exactly what we're doing. That is what it is. So now I call it that too.
Yeah, and the energy and vibe there too is like, if you go there and you judge anybody, you're the one that's going to get jumped. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's it's just the energy and the compassion and the love and just that whole, there's like almost like clinical room feel, and it's just broad,
So in addition to the food, what other support do you offer there? Do you still do the GED stuff, or is it closed as well? Or?
Yeah, so we it's kind of like trick-or-treating. Everybody who goes, I don't have a better way to describe it, and you can't really describe it until you've experienced it, right? It's different. So I tell everybody who wants to come out. In other words, show up. Yeah, where the hell have you been? That's kind of where I was going with it. Math is his excuse. I get math. But it's like trick-or-treating. Not anymore. So you get a bag and you go around to the different booths. So we have men's clothing, women's clothing. We have hygiene. We have, I call it the dollar store table because we spend about $200 a week at the dollar store. It's coloring books and crayons and markers and playing cards. I bag, and actually George and Ashley bag as well. Drugs. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Advil, Tylenol, legal drugs. All the stuff that you can't afford if you are homeless, right?
Tylenol's
if you don't
expensive.
have Tums, you've got issues. So anyway, we give all that away. We have sandwiches. So we're the only sanctioned feed. They call us a feed. It sounds kind of like a cattle drive.
I hate that term.
I hate it too, but that's what they call us.
They say it in prison too, time to feed.
Time to feed. It's terrible, but that's what they call us. So we're the only sanctioned feed. So we go through the special event permit process. We pay the city a special event permit to be able to do this every Tuesday. Mountain Park Health does not charge us. They are amazing. And we get to use the parking lot. So I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I think it's what's cool.
It's
just a really good symbiotic relationship too, because anybody that's doesn't have insurance coverage or medical coverage, they have an assister there. They can go get their benefits accessed, and then they can get just really, get
they
run
can
out
go
on your
right
feet.
inside. So we brought he's actually at Axiom, one of our kids. He just got out, he needed medical, he got his access, and I brought him right inside to get an appointment because he needed meds and that kind of thing. Another thing that we do, which is, I love this, we have the Arizona Liver Health people come out. They do rapid Hep C testing and HIV testing. But for Hep C, they'll do a rapid test, 20 minutes. They know, hey, dude, you've got Hep C, come on over. They do a call with the doctor immediately, like a FaceTime call, and then they get them on meds immediately. So they have cured 80 people of Hep C since they started on Tuesdays a year and a half ago. Like literally cured them. They would be dead.
And that's not cheap.
That's not cheap, but it's all covered by insurance. It's completely free to them. Because it's rapid, they know immediately that they have it. If you wait a week, you lose them.
Do you stand by the quality of your sandwiches?
You know what? They kind of suck. They do. And during COVID, I'm not going to lie. So during COVID, I told everybody because
Are they
COVID
Hep C free sandwiches?
Yes,
Okay.
that I can guarantee.
Okay.
Although, it's funny with the sandwiches because some of the ladies who put them together, they've got a system. Yeah. They're like, you have to put peanut butter on both pieces of bread and jelly in the middle. Otherwise, it soaks through. So they've got a whole system. They actually mark them strawberry, raspberry.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's
sweet.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of what we do. So it's like trick-or-treating. They go around all the different booths. They get what they need. And then we have George there who knew freedom. We're like, hey, you don't have to be on the streets. When you're ready not to be on the streets, I got a guy over here who can talk to you. Or we have Crossroads there, or we have Aurora. We have Ubers that will take them anywhere they need to go when they're ready. We've had total strangers walk up to us on a Tuesday and be like,
I'm done.
I heard you can help me. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. Mostly in the summertime.
Yeah.
And personally, we've been able to accept 4 people. And I know through referrals from people that I've talked to after the event that have called and wanted to come to New Freedom or to treatment in general,
Yeah.
probably I would say somewhere between 7 and 10 where they were referred to a Crossroads or to ARC or to Sanctuary, any of the other places. It's really, really good to see when people do want to make that change.
Right.
Right. And that's why you do it. If there's 270, 300 people there, if we're adding 20 to it and one of them decides they want that help, that's pretty awesome.
That's a pretty awesome
There's
thing.
a guy from there that still calls me periodically. He's not ready, but he's calling me for a reason.
Exactly.
He checks in. We have a conversation. He tells me how crazy life is. I say, I get it. I've been there. What can we do? Well, I don't want to do anything yet, but I just wanted to call and let you know this is all messed up or that's all. I get it.
Yeah.
But again, they're reaching out. Right?
Yeah.
They're establishing contact. They're
Exactly.
building that rapport. They're building that trust. He knows he's got somebody to call.
Right.
He's in a better position now just with someone to call as a result of the work you do.
That is so important. It really is. And so when we started out, like I'm a normie, right? So
No, you are. Maybe you didn't do drugs, but you are far from a normie,
I'm
lady.
a fucking normie. And I'm kind of in that. I don't know. I fit, but I don't really fit. So the reason I tell you that is like if somebody comes up to me and they're like, I'm ready. It's so important for me to be like, all right, I can give him a hug. I can give him some food. I'm like, we will hook you up with clothes. We will do whatever we can. But here's George. He gets it, right? He's going to tell you what shit you're going to go through when you detox. He knows what it's like. If you don't do this, that you're going to go to prison. He can tell you what that's about. And so one of the great things about Tuesday nights is people who get off the streets, they come back to volunteer. So like 10%, 20% of the people who are out there volunteering are previously our homeless kids. So, and they could be 50. I still call them kids because I'm old. But that's who's out there, right? And it's so important for them to be out there because I can be like, hey, Mo, I need you to talk to so-and-so right now. Just sit down and explain to him what the process is. Because I can't ever understand that. I just can't. And so that has been such an incredible part of what we do. It's really twofold, right? We've got all the kids who need the help, and we're there for them, and we want to be there every single Tuesday, no matter what. We've never missed a Tuesday. It's been 9.5 years. But then it's also the volunteer side of things, right? It's making that connection. I always feel like a little operator, with the little, you guys are too young, but used to be back in the day.
I absolutely had that game. Absolutely. Matter of
You're
fact,
like,
I just bought that
connected.
game for a toy drive that they did at the prison.
They're both looking at us like, huh?
One of the kids now today had asked for that game. It was Operation or something.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
options to put on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, they still have Operation?
Yeah.
And they had it at Walmart, and I got that and some other board game and put it underneath
There
the
you
tree. Like Angel Tree or whatever.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just kind of connecting, right? We're connecting the resources to the kids. Being an educated person with a computer, with Wi-Fi, I can't figure it out, right? How are we asking somebody who's on the streets to be able to know where to go for detox, where to go for rehab, what their insurance covers, where's a sober living house, how do I get a sponsor? How do they know how to do
Where's
that?
your ID?
Where's your ID, right?
Right. That's such a huge-
where's your birth certificate
huge
to get your ID?
Roadblock. Yep.
It's ridiculous. It really is hard. So we try to make sure that everybody's out there who can help, so that because if we don't do it immediately, we lose them.
Yeah.
We lose them. They go away and
It's
they
a
don't
very
come back.
small window.
Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely. And then there's the other side of this, right? And it's just facts. Some people are comfortable in that environment. They don't want the bills. They don't want the tracking. They don't want the normal stuff, right? And watching that is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But practicing acceptance also, if this is where you're happy. Like the shirt that I went to one of the ARIS events, Catherine's event, and it was hot. I was in a long sleeve shirt from work, and I get there and I'm
Dumbass.
like, oh yeah, I'm like, holy shit, it got hot. You know, it's fucking like February, dude.
Yeah.
So I walk over to CVS, and I was talking to Brett, and he's like, where you at? I'm like, oh, I walked over to CVS to buy a T-shirt. He's like, you're a dummy. Catherine's got a bunch of T-shirts. Ask her for one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. So I go back over there, and I asked, what's your partner's name? Ted. I asked Ted. I am terrible with names, but I asked Ted. I said, hey, you guys got tees? He's like, oh yeah. It's a whole like literally a truck full of shirts. And I get to wear their shirt, and it says on there, love them where they're at.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite shirt. And the cool thing for me,
You wore it last week.
Yeah.
I commented. I'm like, nice shirt.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Representing.
And there's a really cool story with that because it's orange, right? Or ish. And I wouldn't touch orange. I wouldn't wear orange. I have that thing that hangs by my door, which is a sweat rag from prison.
It's
so
orange.
I know it's actually from prison. I brought it home with me, and I keep it by my door. So when I walk out, I'm only one fucking decision
Yeah,
away from
wearing
that
that
stupid
again.
sweat rag
Yeah.
again. So that's the only orange thing I have up until this shirt. But I went to St. Mary's Food Bank. A good friend of mine teaches a class over there, training people to be culinary chefs or culinary kitchen workers. I don't know what it's called, but in the culinary program. And I went over there, and he did 26 or 25 years straight since he was a kid up until he was 40-something years old. And he's got orange sleeves and this white shirt, right? And I was like, man, you're wearing orange? And he looks at it after doing 25 years in prison. He's all, bro, that part of my life's over. I don't even think about that.
Wow.
And I was just like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'm going to wear some orange. I'm going to think like him because that's pretty cool.
That's pretty
How'd you get
cool.
over that? You know, you chose to get over
That's
it.
pretty cool.
And so then I got that shirt from you, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Hey, I actually look all right in orange. This works. So now I get to wear it. So you
cool.
help me get over that
There you go.
self-stigma
Now
right
I
there.
know what to get you for Christmas. Orange jumpsuit.
Please, oh, yeah, definitely a jumpsuit. We'll wear it to a prison trip.
There you go.
So we went out to Kingman last Friday, and we were out there. Like, man, they treated us so good.
Good.
From the complex warden to the unit warden to all the way down to the boots on the ground, the clinical staff. They had us in the buildings, talking to everybody on the rec field where your brother definitely wasn't working out. Well, his brother's on the yard there.
In Kingman?
And he didn't show up for
It's
the.
a nice facility.
He didn't show up for the event, and he told Jesse, "Oh, I was working out in the yard." I'm all bullshit. I was on the fucking yard, dude.
He also told me he would be at the event.
So there's some conflicting stories, but you know, there's that ambivalence. So we're out there and we're talking to these guys, and they put us in this room. There's at every bit of 100, 150 guys in there. Every bit, just in this room, listening to myself and my buddy Matt speak. And so we go in there, and after the event, we're talking, and the guy's like, "Hey, where are you from? You guys from Phoenix?" I said, "Yeah." So you go out to Tempe at all? I was like, "Yeah, pretty often, you know, whenever I'm on that side of town." He's like, "You got to go there. They have this homeless event, man, I used to go to." And I was like, "You talking about with Catherine?" "Oh, I love Catherine." And literally everybody knows Catherine. And it's so cool to see when those worlds collide.
Yeah.
There's a flip side to that. We're at the event. I'm talking about purchasing a home. And one of the people who's currently unsheltered is like, "Hey, man, you know who you should talk to? You should talk to Rachel Wilson. She's a miracle worker." My broker is Raquel Wilson.
Oh, stop.
So she's so involved in this community, inside the prisons and everything else, that people who are unsheltered know that they
know
somebody who's going to help them when they're ready to purchase a home, an expert who can help them navigate that. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like
They don't teach you that in high school.
no,
They don't.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
No.
I get some. I'm like, okay, I got to pay that, and hopefully I got enough money, and I pay.
You know how many times I've been to the bank with someone who
Yeah.
never had an account, and they're like, "I am scared to death." I'm like, "All right, we got this, no problem."
Yeah.
And they sit there and they look at the banker, and the banker's talking, and they're talking out of their ass. Like they're saying stuff you don't need to know to open a freaking checking account. And I'm just sitting there looking at them like, I just told them, just nod, you'll be fine. And then we get out of there, they're like, "I missed it all." I'm like, "You didn't miss shit. Don't worry about it. You got your account. You're good." But it's terrifying.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff is scary for first-time people. It is terrifying.
And you know what really sucks? After I purchased this home, I learned how to use the TVM calculator because of my stupid fucking math class, and now I know I'm paying like
No,
$670,000 for my $290,000
Make double
house.
payments
Oh
on
my
your
God.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a class everyone should have to take.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, holy shit.
It's scary.
Yeah.
You know what else I think people need to know too is like, 10, 15 years ago, they didn't have the resources that they have now. So if you've been on the street, if you've been in prison, if you've been in jail, if you've been disconnected or never involved in this community, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that there's so much help. You don't know that insurance pays for halfway houses. You don't know that there's places that you can get help.
Yeah.
So if you don't stumble across any of these events, you don't know.
Exactly.
And you just think the world's against me.
Mm-hmm. And they do. I've had so many people be like, they're trying to kill us. They're literally, and I'm like, that's terrible. But that their minds, there's a lot of things that go on, and you guys know better than I do, but they literally think that people are out to kill them. Like the cops almost ran me down. They're after me. They 14 times. And I don't know how much of it is
I forget what the name they use too. It's like something stalking. It's got some like verbiage to it that they use.
It's terrifying.
Yeah,
They're seriously scared.
Whether it's true or not, they believe it.
They believe it's true, and that's all that
that's what's
matters.
important.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a guy at your event that came up to Ashley posted the address on there. Good job.
Oh, thank you, Ashley.
Good job, Ash. You're a great producer.
You're better than we are. Like, just come to Tempe, you'll find
She got the remote in one hand, the phone in the other. She's handling business over there. Good job, Ash. But I had a guy that came up to our table, and he's like, "You help people?" I said, "Yeah." He's all, "Well, I'm a fucking assassin. You help assassins?" I said, "We do."
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't think so," and he walked off. That was our first interaction. Since then, he came back and accused me of stealing his jacket. And then now,
You shouldn't steal his jacket.
I gave it back.
Do that. Oh,
I
okay.
gave it back.
All right.
I felt bad.
I think Ash took it.
She's actually wearing it right now. You guys can't see her, but now when he comes by, he says hello.
Yeah.
Like that was the couple
That's
of
what it
things that
takes.
broke the ice. And I think that's where a huge disconnect can happen, because you'll take that interaction, people will take it personally,
Yeah.
then they'll hate that person or fear that person or whatever, and there'll be that divide.
Right.
People have mental health issues.
Absolutely.
People aren't living on the streets like that because they're feeling really good and everything's okay upstairs and they
Exactly.
just want to live outside.
Yeah.
And that goes for almost that whole entire, I don't want to put everybody in the same bag, but it goes for a majority, I can say
You're
that
right.
safely, of that community.
Absolutely.
And to be able to show love, compassion, empathy, and have conversations without getting offended by something somebody says.
Yeah.
Put your own beliefs, your own biases aside, and actually support somebody without loving them where they're at, without telling them where they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the hardest thing. So I do, puppy.
Oh, yeah.
I love puppy love.
She's the co-star.
Yeah, she's awesome. I do presentations. Not a lot. I love doing them because I love talking to people about the issue of homelessness. Most people are not raised with a homeless cousin or a homeless, they don't have an insight to it, at least where I go and I speak. And I tell everybody, I'm like, all right, you see a group of homeless people out there, and I want you to look at them and picture them in kindergarten, okay? Whole group of kindergarten students out there. How many of them do you think, way back in time, if you would ask them in kindergarten, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many of them do you think would have raised their hand and been like, I want to live behind a dumpster. I'm going to dumpster dive for my food. I'm going to beg people for money. I'm going to use drugs 74 times a day. I'm going to get these awesome pills called blues. Not one of them, right? Not one freaking kindergarten student would do that. And yet here they are. So when you see this crowd, know that something happened from that day in kindergarten to today that derailed them. I don't know if it's physical, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental health issues, whatever it is, it's not for us to judge, but something happened. So you look at them with compassion and you realize that it's really our job to figure out what that one thing is to help them not be living this state of turmoil where they feel this is all they're good enough for. I mean, the stories are tragic, and being the empaths that we are, I mean, you take them on.
Yeah.
But you also look at them and you're like, you've got choices, right? You can choose to live this way or you can choose not to. But either way, I'm going to love you. I don't care. I will feed you. I will clothe you. I will take care of you. I will give you a hug every Tuesday. The only thing I ask for is respect. We respect each other. And I'm guessing that's a lot on the prison yard too, right?
Yeah.
You've got to show me respect and I'll show you respect. You don't lie to me. I don't like it. I mean, I'll forgive it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I really don't.
Yeah, and it's hard, but you also have to know you're going to get told lies.
All the time.
It's all going to come from fear. People don't want to admit how terrible stuff is, or they want to over glamorize whatever how terrible things are. And it's literally the same experience because I've had the absolute pleasure of bringing people into prisons for their first time multiple times.
I want to go.
I will get you in.
Will I get frisked?
I will get you in. I don't know.
Asking.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll ask them to wand you.
No
Check
guarantees. But yeah, we have a really good relationship with Manzanita. They're a recovery community inside. Holly was just on here before, so we can get with Holly and see what that looks like. It's out in Tucson.
I would love it.
But we'll bring these people, and I brought like literal millionaires, very wealthy people into the prison.
Awesome.
I brought a medical professional into the prison. And when we leave, and then just some regular people that I've met at different prison events, and we're leaving, like, man, those are like really nice guys in there.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy was really smart. Yeah. Hey, that guy said really nice stuff. Yeah, no shit. There's human beings in there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do they think?
Well, they think what they see. It's not even their fault, but they see on TV the rape and the murder and the tattooed faces and all this other stuff. And then they have a conversation with some guy with tattoos on his face, and he talks about his kids and his mom and the poor decisions
Or
he
has
made.
like major articulate conversation about philosophy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's so awesome until you humanize that experience by bringing people to it, putting a light on it.
Yeah.
There can be a huge disconnect. It looks scary from a distance.
And that's the same on Tuesday nights.
Yep.
That is the same on Tuesday nights because all these people who come out to volunteer, like not the ones who used to be on the streets, obviously they understand it, but the ones who've never experienced it before. We had this gentleman, and it breaks my heart to this day. Just about a month ago, he passed away from a fentanyl overdose. His name was CJ, and he was a wonderful kid. And I'm not just saying that because he had Katherine tattooed on his chest. That's not why. But he did, and I'll send you pictures. He had tats all over his face, completely tatted from top to bottom. And you'd see these people who would come out to volunteer, and, they're like, they don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And I would bring him over on purpose. I'm like, this is the biggest softie you've ever met. And I'd like punch him, and they'd smile, and then he'd talk to them, and he had this just smile that would just light up the room. And it just went to humanize those people, right? Because there is a reason he has tattoos all over his face. For whatever reason, he was doing that. And there's a reason he has Katherine on his chest. And that was so he was tatted, not completely all over his face. And I went to his court date, and I'm like, you remember to save me a spot, right? When you can't, well, he went in the last time for 3 years, and he's like, hey, look. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't mean it. Dude, you didn't have to do that. He's like, no, it's cool. I'm like, all right. And luckily I really liked his fiance, and she loves me. So it was cool. I was like, all right.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a commitment too, but
yeah, it is a commitment.
that event, we see the way the guys respond to you, right? We see the way, the guy. I always say the guys. It's a term. I'm not talking about men.
Right.
But the people that are the guys and the girls that are there, they the way they respond to you, the way they respect you. I've answered a handful of questions about New Freedom. I have answered 10 million questions on where's Katherine.
You know what? I'm normally the loudest one out there.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can always find me.
Yeah, just listen for this.
Just listen.
And
then
you bring like the strange, and I'm not talking about the community you're serving. I'm talking about the people. When I say strange, like the people that I would not expect to be there. You're like, hey, come on over, and tell them about this, and it's people from all different walks of life.
Yes.
That are showing up, that you're exposing to this, that are seeing it. And it's like, man, I didn't expect to meet you here, but that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's such a big part. It didn't start out that way. Like, it was literally me in the minivan. And then we had one more volunteer, and then 2 volunteers. Now it takes 70 to 80 volunteers every Tuesday to make it happen. It's a production, right? And it is by no means me. I mean, I spend a lot of time on it, but Ted probably spends 30 hours a week doing the thing. There's stuff that people don't think about, like the liability insurance. Mm-hmm. And, we got to order the T-shirts, and we have to make sure that this person is showing up and the dinners are prepared and the stuff is bought and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot behind it, but it's all worth it.
The equipment, the stuff back and forth. Like,
the equipment, the water.
This isn't four people at a table talking on microphones.
Yeah.
This is an event that serves up to 300 people.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
And in a rapid, organized...
has to be. Hour and a half, we're out. I mean, Well, about 2 hours of cleanup and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're out quick. And we literally pop up a village and then we put it back down and then we go out. But part of what's so important about it, like we just had a group of guys from Axiom. I don't know how much you work with the Axiom group.
We love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love them.
So they came out and I was talking to one of my boys, Mo. He cleaned and sober, like he's coming up. We don't give frontsies, right? But 4/20 is his date. So
Nice.
I'm just kind of keeping it in mind. Anyway, he's coming up on 4 years and he got out and he was gung-ho all in, right? He was done. He wasn't doing this anymore, which was amazing. He brought his Axiom guys out because he works at Axiom now. And on the way over, he was telling me they were bitching and moaning, like, why do we have to go volunteer? This is fucking ridiculous. Why can we just go back? And then he said, Katherine, on the way home, they're like, can we go back next Tuesday? I'm like, yeah, those are my people. Like, those are my people. You can see them when it lights up in them that they feel it, right? It means something to help somebody else. One of our volunteers told me once, this was like 6 years ago, he said, you made me Santa Claus. I don't know how you did it, but you made me Santa Claus. I get to go just make people happy. And I tell people that. I'm like, go make people happy. Give this away, right? Here's some stuff. Just give it away and make someone happy. Because that's what we're out there to do, right? A lot of people, one thing that I think is really amazing about what we do, and here I am bragging, but we are not bureaucratic in any way, shape, or form. We are volunteers. We are grassroots. We get our hands dirty. And so we just started doing metrics and things like that because for grants and things, you have to have them.
Yes.
But in general, I don't care how many items I give you. If you need 17 pairs of socks to make you happy today, I'm going to give you fucking 18. I don't care. And I'm not going to jot it down. Nobody needs to know. I'm just going to give it away. Everything we do is giving it away. And it's all for the purpose of just making people feel decent. We had one gentleman named David. He works at St. Mary's Food Bank, which is where I thought that story was going. I thought maybe you ran into him. Sober 5 years. He was out on the streets for probably 10. And he's my age, so he's really young. And I would see him and I'm like, dude, what are you doing out here? He used to have a 6-figure salary, like the wife, children, blah, blah, blah. Mental health issues happened. Started down the path of meth, and then all of a sudden he was on the streets. It happens, right? So we would talk, and he was kind of shy, quiet, stayed to himself. Every week we'd talk, we'd laugh. I'd be like, dude, we're old. He's like, yeah, we are. And then he got sober, and now he's at like 4 or 5 years. And he went through the culinary program at St. Mary's Food Bank. Now he's been working there ever since. He's got a watch addiction now. He buys watches. That's his thing. He's like, I've got like $30,000 in the bank, and I just want one watch. I'm like, go get your watch. But he's amazing. And he told me after he got sober, he came back and he's like, I got to tell you that I had a way to kill myself. I knew how I was going to do it and I had it. And I never asked him how he was going to do it. But he said, if I did not smile one time every day, I was going to kill myself. That life wasn't worth living at that point. Why bother? And he said, sometimes on Tuesdays, I got enough smiles to last me till the next Tuesday. And that was all the difference to him. But then when he was ready, he was ready. And I think that's one thing you just don't realize what just being out there and smiling at somebody, not judging them, giving them a hug. Hey, do you need some water? Did you get enough to eat? Just little questions.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. It really makes a difference to these kids.
Treating somebody who like a human who hasn't been treated like a human or even felt like a human, regardless of how people are treating them, right?
Yeah.
Those are lows. I've been unhoused before. I can't remember a time where I actually ended up having to sleep outside. But that's because I was robbing and stealing and doing all other kinds of stuff where I used to tell, like when I got arrested, the cops would ask me, where are you living at? I'm on tour, dude. I'm staying in hotels, friends' houses, all that stuff.
Tour.
But it's still a really shitty feeling.
Yeah.
It's a really, really shitty feeling. It does wonders for your self-esteem not to know where you're going to sleep that night, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're to the point where you're just sleeping outside and you know it and you have your camp set up and you have all that.
Yeah.
And it's such the magic that happens out there. It's absolutely 100% saving lives,
Yeah.
right? It's not saving everybody's life. Nothing anybody does is going to save everybody, but people are absolutely being saved by this. And it's funny because I met you through Brett and you came down for a tour of New Freedom, and maybe it was the MBA in you, all this other kind of stuff. When I saw you, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a conservative lady, you know. She walks in, she's like, this fucking place is great. I'm like, all right, cool. This is my people right here.
I have a problem. It's a problem.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I've been called Mother Teresa with a potty mouth.
Nice.
Yeah. That's Todd. Right.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
he's
bet.
Like, you are Mother Teresa with a fucking potty mouth. I'm like, yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's on a good path.
Yeah.
He's got good things coming. Surrounded by great people, making good decisions. Another result of the ARIS events, right, and connection. So that's what you do for your service work and for your passion and your purpose, and you're a million people's person now, right? You grew into that role. What do you do for you? What do you do for fun? What does that look like? Do you have time for that shit?
Sleep is so nice.
It is.
Such a magical thing.
All of us young people say that.
Oh, yeah, I love it. If I could be in bed at 8, it would be magical. Believe it or not, I really like accounting.
Do you?
I do all the accounting, and I bitch about it like crazy, but I really, really like that. I love Excel. It is my friend. Mm-hmm. I like my job. I really do. I've been there 31 years this year. It was like first job out of college, just stayed. I really like my job. I am absolutely passionate about my family. I have the best kids you could ever imagine. I have a really, really close family. My husband, my mom, my brother, my nephew, niece. I have a wonderful family. So my downtime is maybe heading up north, going to the cabin, just kind of chilling out, reading a book. I told you I don't get to read very often. Audible is my friend right now because that's how I kind of
I bought my first one and broke my cherry.
Oh, see, it's a wonderful thing, especially when you drive a lot. It keeps you going. I should have learned languages with the amount of time that I was driving back and forth to work. I really could have, but I didn't, unfortunately. That's kind of my joy. But Tuesday fills my cup. It does. Wednesday, I told you, Wednesday I'm a bitch because I'm exhausted from Tuesday because it's so much energy. And again, being an empath, you're like, bam, bam, you're feeling it all, you're seeing it all. It's sad. Tuesday night, every night, what I do is I spend about an hour sending pictures of people to their loved ones. So I get a lot of calls, and their loved ones know that I'm doing it. So when I take a picture, and this is one thing people should know, because I know everybody listening is going to go immediately out to our Facebook page and to our website. The website sucks because I did it, but the Facebook page is kind of fun. And we post a lot of pictures, but we do a lot of selfies. And it's not because I think I'm incredibly good looking and everyone needs to see my face 100 times. But
that's only like 85%.
That's only 85% of it. And I look really thin from here up, so it's fabulous. But what I realized about 10 years ago, this young lady on the streets named Britt was like, we should do a selfie. Never heard of it before, right? Because I'm old. When you take a picture of someone who's homeless, it's a mug shot, right? All of a sudden you're like, why are you taking my picture? Like, I don't know if you've got warrants or not, but they're like, shit. If you go up to somebody and you're like, picture, and then all of a sudden they're like, she's such an idiot. And then they smile, right? Yeah. So I tell everybody, I'm like, look at the pictures of the kids, not of me. Look at them genuinely just happy. And in the beginning, it was like a big joke. And now every Tuesday, at least 5 kids will come up to me if I didn't already get them and be like, all right, let's take our picture. I'm like, okay, and then we'll take the picture. And I've got to tell you, I have a special Facebook site for just the kids on the streets. It's called Mill Ave Kids. Don't ask to be a member if you haven't been homeless. And they keep track of their friends, right? A lot of these kids will get off the streets and they move away. Like, we've got people in Boston, we've got people in Chicago, and they want to know who their friends are and how they're doing. So they will go on and they will look at those pictures. So every night, post on Mill Ave Kids. I post on our ARIS Foundation page. I send pictures to family members who are, desperate to know how their kids, their family members are doing. So that's my Tuesday night.
Yeah, and Tuesday night's pretty loose, right? But obviously it's organized. You guys have your shit together. Everybody's been doing it for a while. But there is some formal training there. Yeah. And my very first night there, Katherine trained me how to take selfies in a safe way, so people don't feel stigmatized or you're at whatever kind of term I could use for that. Just taking pictures of people who are suffering. She's like, "This is how you do it. Hi, little song. Take a selfie." And look, they love it. And then she went and modeled it. I'm like, okay, cool. I
can do that.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm noticing more and more selfies on your Facebook.
yes.
more and more.
I might have a selfie problem.
Yeah,
I
you might. And it's okay. We're see.
Pro
Now
selfie?
you guys will start too.
Yeah, pro
Oh,
selfie.
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're after it.
Yeah.
They
It's
were
crazy
both.
thing.
We got some really cool pictures today from
did you?
from prison. And they're like, "Hey, in the car home, can you send me the pictures?" I'm like, "Yeah." I sent it to them, and they're both.
I saw them sneaking selfies on the other side of the hot dog. I'm like, dude,
How are
guys,
you
like,
doing, guys?
listen,
Oh, so if you ever do go out to Tucson prison, right? If we
Yes.
ever do go out there
Yes.
together on Wilmot, you get off the I-10, you hang a
Yep.
right on Wilmot to go to the prison. They have the fucking best hot dog stand out
Shut
there.
up.
Oh, it's so good.
they're
See, I'm
Sinaloa
a-
dogs. They
I'm
got
a
the wrapped in
wildcat.
wrapped in bacon,
It's loaded.
mayonnaise,
It's so
I'm all
good.
in.
pico.
I can't
Yeah.
guarantee that they're an approved food vendor.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I was actually able to return the uneaten jalapenos. I felt bad throwing them away. I'm like, "Do you want these back?" "Oh yeah." Throw them right back in the bucket.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
I love it. I don't give a shit. You're buying food on
Resourceful.
the side of the road. If you're looking for sanitary shit, you're in the wrong
You're in the
fucking
wrong
place.
place.
Yeah.
So, he's like, "Yeah, give those
And,
back."
and he's out there with his dad who's burning in heat.
Yeah,
you know?
they have an older Mexican gentleman who's
Oh, no.
literally sitting in a wheelchair talking to us like this. And I'm like,
Because of the sun.
"You just told me you sell $85 hot dogs a day. Buy this guy a fucking umbrella.
Next time you go, bring him
They're
one.
$30.
I'll give you one for him.
Perfect."
Yeah. Yeah. It'll
We'll
say,
just
"Love
go
them where
there,
they're at."
roll up and buy a hot dog and then take care of Pops.
And take
We
care
just
of
got that fence fucking thing where you dig the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's awesome, man.
Fantastic.
Bury it in there. So the family's important.
Yes.
31 years at work. That
Yes.
sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for you. You used your
Yeah.
education to write.
I did.
You maxed out your MBA.
I did.
You're like, I'm going to get my MBA and it's going to pay me for 30 fucking years.
Yep.
Right.
And they paid for it.
Where'd you get your MBA from?
So I went to the U of A for my bachelor's, and then I went to ASU for my MBA.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Did it while I was working. So wow,
So
worked out
awesome.
well.
So I was this close to going to ASU, and then Scottsdale now has a bachelor's in business
Are you
administration.
kidding?
I swear to God.
Scottsdale Community.
It starts in September.
Yeah.
You can get your bachelor's there. So I still love ASU. They all cool
I
stuff
went to
there. I
SEC
do a bunch
too.
of stuff.
Yeah,
I
You
just
can get
don't.
your bachelor's there for $5,000.
that's fantastic.
$5,000.
That's
I'm in.
fantastic.
I'm in.
Yeah, because ASU, 80 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
It was
different.
$8,000 a
kid there.
semester. I was like,
I was wondering if the ARIS Foundation will take care of my college education.
Absolutely. We got money coming out of our ass.
I'm saying.
It's ridiculous.
But it's really cool because I actually heard about you in prison from Todd because Brett was like my original mentor. I think Brett was my first or my second like actual person that I used for mentorship. It grew into friendship, but that it started strictly as a mentorship.
Sure.
And I was trying to get him into the prison or whatever the hell weird shit I was doing in there. And Todd told me, oh, he knows Katherine. Ask him about Katherine from ARIS. So I did. And then about a year later, I get a picture of my buddy Jerry that owns Freebird Auto.
Traffney.
Jerry Traffney, him, Danny Gallegos, my friend Jesse, who's married to another friend of mine, all at your event.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I'm like, this is about 2.5 years before I got out. And I was just like,
what are you
man,
doing?
I can't wait to go to this ARIS event. So I didn't really say anything to anybody, but the first time I was there, I was like, I waited a few years to be able to come here. It's pretty cool.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
I hope you come. We
I'm
have
coming.
cotton candy.
I'm coming.
Seriously, it's a carnival.
I'm coming.
We've got cotton candy, popcorn. We've got snow cones.
And I'm going to bring people.
Bring people for sure. I love it when one of my happy moments is when people bring children. I love it. And mostly because if you're homeless, you get spit on, you get yelled at, you get told get a job, you get shit thrown at you at the freeways. I mean, these things happen.
Yeah.
People walking down the street with a child will literally pull the child to the other side. I get it. You don't know who this person is, right? Tuesday nights, those kids come out, they volunteer, they hand out cotton candy, they interact with the homeless, and you will see the homeless. Somebody's been out there for 30 years. Bend over, talk to them, be like, thank you so much for this candy. This is so sweet of you to do this. You can see their parents glowing because their kids get it. You can see the homeless glowing because all of a sudden, these parents are trusting their children to talk to somebody. It's a moment, right? It is a moment that you see, and It's hard to describe, but it just literally, I told you I wasn't a crier, now I'm a crier.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
And out there, it happens every time you turn around. So like you're talking, you're engaging, you turn around, it's going on again. Yeah,
over and over again.
It is
and the ASU students now, we've got so many of them who are coming out. Right, we're right in Tempe.
Yeah.
Most people, when they think of the homeless community, they're thinking of Cass. They're thinking of downtown Van Buren. They're thinking about drug deals happen, people nodding off, blah, blah, blah. First off, so there are enforcers out there. We have a homeless community. They take care of themselves, right? They know that on Tuesday nights, we don't bring drugs. We don't get into fights. We don't cause a ruckus. We don't smoke weed, right? That's happening more and more, and it's driving me crazy because we have kids out there. I don't care if it's legal. I don't want it out there, right? So I'll tell them, put the shit away. But every once in a while, you'll hear one of the OGs of the homeless community scream at someone and be like, put that shit away. We don't do that on Tuesday nights. You know better. Get your ass out of here. If you have to use, go somewhere else, right? They police it because it's important to them. They protect it. Yeah. When we were at JC Park, there were some bikes being stolen in the neighborhood, and I flat out went to some of the enforcers, and I'm like, "This is happening. This can't happen here, right? We need a 1 mile safe space, or we're gonna get blamed and we're gonna get shut down." They're like, "We got that shit. Yeah. We'll take care of it," and they do. They take care of it. They have their own way of policing.
And the way they respect you, right? The way you're able to communicate with them, the amount of work that you put into this, it shows, and it saves lives, and it's effective, and it's great to be a part of, and I'm so glad I got invited out there. So Ashley had came up with an idea this week, and she kind of shared it. As we wrap up the podcast, we're into our last few minutes here. It has to be under an hour, otherwise I can't put it on TikTok.
Got it.
So that's pretty much my.
So shut the hell up, Catherine.
So TikTok rules my life is what I'm saying. It's my decision maker. But she wanted to kind of close with a win of the week, something cool that happened this week, something cool that you consider a win. It doesn't matter if you were able to brush your teeth for the first time in a long time. Or you
don't judge me.
Or I never
judge me.
Never. We're judgment free around here. We won't talk shit about it until after you leave. So
there are so many wins every week, and it's stupid little shit for other people, but for me, I'm just like. Ugh. So I had a young lady come out this week, and she was just 10 years clean and sober, and I watched her go from tumbleweed, off the streets, had a child. Job, the whole thing. And she brought out her mom, and I had never met her mom before, and she brought out her son. I'm technically his godmother, but I don't see him that often. And I got to give her a 10-year chip. We made these stupid little shit chips that say ARIS on them, right. And they're literally poker chips because we couldn't afford to make the really expensive ones. So I got little fucking poker chips. But I'm like, these will be worth something one day.
Absolutely.
I got to give her 10-year chip.
It was definitely worth something that day.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
So you're telling me somebody who's homeless, on drugs, all the way through there can recover, and 10 years later be a family woman and have children and have her mom.
Day.
You see it happen every day.
Every day.
We do recover.
We do recover.
Change is possible.
Change is possible.
That's awesome.
Not only possible, probable.
100%.
Give it a shot.
God forbid you add some love to something.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yes.
Jeremy, win of the week.
Win of the week was the whole JTOP, care coordination within the treatment courts, being able to provide that navigation through our court system for emerging youth population, ages 18 to 25. That was just the whole probation team down there, the whole, vibe. And, our case manager got to meet with the judge the other day, and just being able to, for example, one of the kids that we know has said, told his mom that he was living behind his grandma's place. Grandma lives in a nursing home, so where's he staying? He's staying on the street. Yeah. So being able to just provide that wraparound services and be able to be like, dude, we will come get you. We will be there. And it's
magical.
Yeah, it's magical. It's absolutely magical. So that was like a big win for us, for our community too. I mean, there's such a vulnerable population. So
good job, man.
Yeah,
good job. What's your name again? Oh yeah, Jesse.
Jesse.
That's awesome, brother.
What's your win of the week, buddy?
Prior to this podcast, I definitely would have said going into the prisons and carrying a message.
Yeah.
All of us have spent many, many years in there, but after hearing Catherine, definitely. hearing about what you do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Stop
That's my
it,
win of the
Hughes.
week.
He's my
I am
new
dead.
favorite.
I am dead
He's my
serious.
new
That's bullshit. He only said one
You're
thing.
out.
I think he said one
She
thing.
had me mesmerized. She was great. This is probably my favorite one.
She won't
speak.
shut the hell up.
No,
is
it was
what he
great.
said.
I couldn't speak.
Sorry.
I was too busy welling up and holding back my tears, and then
No, you were
I couldn't have
amazing.
anything to say.
The stuff that you do is amazing. Your program is amazing. I was
Thank
mesmerized listening to it.
Thank you.
And I hope a lot of people hear about it. And I'm definitely going to show up and bring people with me.
I will give you free cotton candy
I eat a lot of it.
and crumble cookies.
I eat a lot of
We
them.
get those too.
He'll eat the metal that it's made in.
I like socks.
Does it come in a box?
We
He will
have
eat the box.
40,000 fucking socks. I will get you Bombas.
But definitely
Never buy them.
meeting Catherine and learning about what she does is definitely
Thank
my one
you.
of the week.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing I want to say too. You're not giving out crap, right?
No.
When people donate stuff,
No.
a lot of times it can be crap. The stuff you've given, we've done some stuff together.
Yes.
And the stuff that I get from you, I can barely get
Dixon
it. I
flannel?
can barely get it in the door
Yeah.
before the fucking boxes are empty.
Yeah.
I'm making sure nobody's around when I bring it in, just so I can get it somewhere safe first. And
Let everybody know we are getting 125 pallets of Dixon boxer briefs.
Oh, we'll be there.
We are looking
We-
for
we need help.
organizations to give them to because we can't store 125 pallets. So Dixon flannel, amazing. Buy stuff from them and get free shit from us.
awesome.
Cool.
So my win of the week, other than Catherine being here, which is pretty
didn't say
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my
Very
favorite.
awesome.
You didn't say
I'm trying to get my favorite title back, but it's not working. No, my win of the week is Ashley and I last night bought tickets and a rental car, got everything taken care of for our vacation next week.
Yay!
Next month to Pennsylvania to go. She's going to meet my family, spend the week with the grandkids and everything.
Nice.
And it was really cool to actually make that happen. Now that I'm thinking about it, I better put in for my fucking PTO. So
Yeah.
everything lines up.
Otherwise, you're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Denied.
Otherwise, Ashley and I are going to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, somebody's going. The
Yeah.
tickets are already bought. Not refundable.
Grab a couple people from the event.
But we love you. We support you.
We do. We love you.
This is I do believe Jesse when he says this is his win of the week and he was memorized because this is the quietest he's ever been. So thank you for that. That might actually be
Anytime.
my win of the week. But yeah, it's awesome to hear your story. For those of you out there that haven't seen this, we literally did not do it justice, including Catherine, for the magic that happens out there. We try to explain it. It's one of those things that you have to go out. You have to see.
You have to see it.
The address is in the chat. Mountain Park Health Center, McClintock
Yes.
and Broadway.
Yes.
On the corner every Tuesday night. Starts at
5:00 is dinner.
So
but
get
we
there
set
about
up
4.
4:15, 4:30.
Yeah, get there about 4 so
Yeah.
you're early and you're ready to help.
Yeah.
The more people out there, the better. Everybody's welcome, especially if you're suffering from food insecurity. If you're having a
Yes.
bad week, you don't have some extra money, whatever that looks like, everybody's welcome. Come out. We love all you guys. If you're suffering, please reach out. There's plenty of people for help. Hit any of us up. We don't have time to go through the chats, but you got some really amazing chats and compliments and stuff that's in there. So review that later. Love you guys. Have a great night.
Don't we get to hear the